Hello and welcome to Comment Below, a podcast where we talk about the news and topics of the week, but more importantly, what has been commented below. We delve into the mess that is our social media, finding the stories you may or may not be talking about. Isn't that right, Ben?
That is correct. Alex, and how many accents did you do in that monologue there?
But none, if you consider any of them being accents, then thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm now an actor.
10 different voices in
I
one sentence.
can do comedy. All right, love. Want a bag of sweeties? Would you like to get in my car?
Welcome everyone to day
Comment
10,
below.
day 10 of our Vlogmas, where we are now doing a proper full podcast.
We got the day
One.
right as well. I just spotted that.
You're welcome. I just did a quick check.
We've had a bit of a break, haven't we? And we've now come back and having to go back to doing the work. So it's now.
Of course, every episode is filmed on the day of
course they
December.
are. The
So I don't
morning.
know what magic you're trying to
Of course.
dispel here.
We're trying to do an advent calendar properly here, so we do it every day as we're meant to record it, and then it comes out in the following day. If you're enjoying our advent calendar, by the way, our vlogmas. It's not really a vlogmas, is it? Because we're not vlogging
No, it's just the word.
our life.
The word is the trending word you need to use.
Vlog. Our Christmas vlog.
Podmas.
Pod. Yeah, Podmas, that's a bit better. We'll go to X or Twitter at Comment Below Pod, Instagram Comment Below _pod, or email us commentbelowpod@gmail.com. If you have anything you want us to talk about, be it Christmas or not Christmas, or just general musings of your life, I'd love someone to get in touch and just let me know what their day was like. Just let me know what your day was like, because sometimes you have a really bad day and you don't have anyone you can vent it with. You don't have a group chat you can talk to people about it with, or, you know, maybe you work in a kind of an isolated occupation, so you don't really, like, you're a bus driver, you know, and you get some horrible person getting on your bus.
Have you been on a bus recently?
I have, and you're like stewing all the time. You're just thinking to yourself, oh God, that person really did tick me off. And then you shouldn't let them consume your day. Of course you shouldn't. But sometimes you just need to vent. And because you haven't got the opportunity to vent, let us be your venter. And then we'll read your email, because I'd love to read out some rants, because rants are fun and you can kind of sympathise. It's like when we were talking about the queues in Lidl or Aldi. Do you let them go ahead of you? It's a little vent, and we discussed it. It was lovely. So if you want to vent, if anything you want to vent to us about, then email us commentbelowpod@gmail.com. Also, if you enjoy listening to the show, don't forget to like, follow, click the bell if you're watching us on YouTube. That's right, we're on YouTube. And you will never, ever miss an episode of this absolute stream of consciousness that I'm now producing right now.
I mean, someone did email us because we did a Vlogmas episode about Christmas cards.
Yes,
Someone sent us an e-card.
they did, because we were saying like e-cards are like the future and no one ever sends us any. So we did get an e-card.
There you go.
Are you going to have time to maybe show it or pop it up somewhere? Was it one of those e-cards where they
I think it
stuck their
disappears,
face?
doesn't it? I don't know.
No, it's yours
I'm
forever.
not sure. Okay. For if we can, we
Thank
will.
you for your
But if
e-card, by the way. Do you know who was the person who sent it? I'm going to
Eva.
write down. Oh, there you go. Eva.
what are you doing?
Looking for
You're going to try and find it?
Is it on our email?
Oh, for God's sake. Is this really what we need to do on the podcast?
Well, you should have planned ahead. You said I've mentioned emails. If you want to send us a Christmas card, then please send it via an email. You're not going to get our address. If you want to send us presents, that's another matter. We can meet you in a public place and exchange the presents. Well, there you go. We don't have to play it.
No, I'm going up for you now.
I hope people are going to see this as well.
Yes, they
They're
will.
watching this on the
I just
video.
downloaded it.
There you go.
So they're wishing us a Merry Christmas of cheer.
Merry Christmas.
Okay?
Okay, thank you. I'll finish watching that later. Oh, you have shown me that already. to be fair.
Yes.
So the reason why we're a bit delayed with recording some of our podcasts, namely our other podcast, Faithful to the Traitors, because there was the final of the Canada
I know.
series.
What a week to miss. To be late for the final.
To be late for, but unfortunately my nan decided to die. So, you know, it was one of those things.
Trigger warning, everyone.
Oh, yes, trigger warning. My nan had died. Anyone who loves my nan, I'm afraid she has died. Can you imagine if someone out there has just found out? Like, what? Pearl?
All right.
So we had to travel back south to my family and attend the funeral. Which
Many
was a
miles.
very, very sad affair. But we flew, which was nice. So we got to use an airport, which we very rarely use nowadays. Like, because maybe a little bit of the pandemic, you don't tend to travel quite so much, but we don't tend to have time to go abroad very often. So going to an airport was quite a novelty.
It felt like a holiday.
It did feel like it. But the only thing I would say is that the people who work in airports are very precious with their clocking off. Like every time you went into a place, they were very sure to let you know that they'll be finishing very soon.
Mm.
It's like we went into a Costa. There's other coffee companies obviously out there, and bought ourselves a coffee, and they were letting everyone know that they were closing in an hour and a half's time. Like
It was like
be
it was
there
like
for an hour and a
it was
half.
4 p.m. and she was like, "We're closing at 6."
Yes.
Before they ordered, and they were like, they ordered like a black coffee, and they were like, "Well, what time is it?" And they were
All I
like,
wanted
it's
was
4 o'clock.
a flat white, which is a very small drink. It won't take me 2 hours to drink it. In fact, by the time I've drunk it and left and had a pee, the shop would still be open.
It's really odd. I
Very
don't know
odd
why
thing.
she was doing that, but she did it to every single customer, even though she had like 2 hours left of work. She wanted to go home, I think.
But it's also the thing that I loved was her passive aggressive nature. That every time a customer came up to the desk, was that instead of her, if she wasn't serving them, she would ask every time. She would ask the person who was serving them, "Sorry, what time are we closing tonight?" Just so they would have to then answer 6 o'clock. So then it would be in earshot of the person buying the coffee. I couldn't stop laughing. I wanted to go up to her and ask her, "Sorry, can you remind me what time are you closing tonight?" But you wouldn't let me. You said, "Don't do that. We'll wind her up." So I wasn't allowed to do that.
She was mopping.
I thought it was a bit unfair. But another thing is there such a thing as duty-free anymore? Because I just felt like all the prices were not cheap at all. Like
Yeah,
bottles
it's not
of
been a thing for
alcohol,
years, has it?
cigarettes, like Toblerones. They were really expensive. Like
It was £9, wasn't it?
£9 for a Toblerone. I'm sure Tesco are doing a better deal.
Gosh. Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's very
that's a bit
annoying, but-
frustrating.
It was nice flying rather than driving, so I enjoyed it.
Well, I have to say, shout out to Logan Air and EasyJet, because both instances was very, very easy flying,
You got a free camel wafer bar,
which I couldn't
Logan Air.
eat, so I gave it to you.
Yeah,
Ben
well,
was sat behind. Logan Air was a very small plane. There was only one aisle of seats on the
Very
left
rickety.
side, and then 2 on the right. Not as bad as the EasyJet one. The EasyJet one was. But Ben sat behind me, and although the woman next to us was very kind and said, "You can sit together if you like," we both kind of looked at each other and went, "Nah," because I wanted to have a sleep anyway because we got up early for the flight. But then when she came along with the coffee and the free caramel wafer bars, other caramel wafer bars are available. I didn't want mine, so I just threw it over the chair and gave it to you, didn't I? And then you cut it and ate it, and then
It's my breakfast at 4 a.m.
with breakfast.
Yes, right.
I had a lovely vegan
Mm.
sausage bap from Costa from my breakfast.
See,
It was delicious.
Finish
had
with this now. You
HP
go
sauce.
more details.
I mean, what else did we do at the airport?
No need to say anything else. I feel that's
Oh, you walked through security without realising someone was there. So the woman said, "Excuse me," and you were like, "Oh, I didn't see you." And she went,
No,
"What do you mean you
she
didn't
wasn't
see
doing
me?"
anything. She was behind some.
She was playing solitaire on her computer.
There you go.
She's literally there, sat on her computer. I don't want to pick up my phone to demonstrate that. And she was playing solitaire, and you just walked past her without showing your ticket. It was hilarious.
It's all done.
Oh, and one last thing we should talk about is that
Right.
my dad didn't like the fact that we went into another coffee shop, which is when we were with my parents, and he got very upset because they wouldn't accept cash. And then we went through a half an hour explanation why being a cashless society is going to be the downfall of the nation.
Yes.
Get in touch with us if you agree with my dad. Do you think a cashless society is the downfall of the
It's not
world?
a cashless society. It's a coffee shop that doesn't accept cash.
Yes, but my dad believes that's the beginning of the end.
Well,
So, as always, get in touch with us on X, comment below pod, Instagram, comment below _pod, or email us commentbelowpod@gmail.com. And if you are watching us on YouTube right now, you can quite literally comment below.
right. You ready to start the show now?
I am. I've chatted enough
Okay.
about our family.
Go on then. Yours up first.
I think you're first with the TV.
Oh, there's something here about music.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that now. I want to talk
No?
about TV shows, yeah.
Right.
I was only going to ask you if you heard... Well, it's a quite easy yes or no question. Do you hear music constantly playing in your head?
What do you mean? What?
So, like,
Just general music.
So,
or
like, sometimes when I'm going to bed, all of a sudden, like, music, I can hear
what,
a
like
song in
a
my
song
head.
from the radio, or
Maybe it's
made up?
just one I made up. And I'm constantly, like, singing all the time as well about, like, making songs. I'm always singing in the kitchen.
Do 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 do. Is that what you hear? Is it?
My brain. That like maybe Homer Simpson when he wants to be a clown. The only reason I ask is because it's apparently a sign of ADHD. It's another symptom of ADHD.
No, I don't think I
Um,
do. Although songs get stuck in my head, but I don't think that's the same as what you're.
Well, Gloomy
describing.
K said that I've had this soundtrack in my brain my whole life and was recently informed by my psychiatrist that this is a symptom of ADHD. My brain trying to provide itself stimulation. So it's in my brain constantly, because I'm constantly stimulation. I hear music all the time, like if I'm just walking down the road, which is why I think that I don't, like you see people kind of like with like doing things and they're listening to music all the time or they're listening to podcasts all the time. And I actually prefer not having that constant in my head all the time because I already have a self monologue in my own head. That makes sense. So there you go. That was just me asking a question. I didn't realise we were going to talk about airports.
Maybe you're in a TV show.
That's true.
And that's the soundtrack.
The Truman Show. I do have that syndrome. That's a proper syndrome as well.
Yeah.
That's a proper thing. And when I watched The Truman Show for about 2 or 3 years, I genuinely believed that I was being recorded live on TV. Genuinely. I have to talk about that one episode. If you'd like us to talk about that, comment below.
So Time magazine have released the 10 best TV shows of 2023 because it's towards the end of the year now.
They also released Person of the Year as well. Do you know who that was?
It? Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Who's Tyler?
Taylor Swift.
I just see that Taylor. I'm saying Tyler. Taylor Swift. Yes. I just want to go through those 10, see if you've known about them, heard about them, want to watch them, have watched them. What you think?
The only thing is, I would say that they're very American centric.
Well, have you already looked at the list? Have you?
Well, no, but I'm just seeing over your shoulder.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. Though we do have American listeners on this show, so they'll appreciate it.
I appreciate that too. I'm just saying, a lot
worldwide
of these shows are actually in the UK. With number 10, I'd like to say straight away that I want to watch this, but every time I suggest it, you say no.
So number 10, Poker Face. Is that something you've heard of, and do you want to watch it?
That's the one I want to watch, and you say no to. Because each episode is meant to be a story in itself, so it's not one continuous. Because that's the thing, the trend with TV shows nowadays, they can't just have like Murder, She Wrote, where it's one setting, but each one is a different murder. It's a murder of the week. They don't do that anymore. And
they used to do that when there's 24 episodes normally, didn't they? Used to do those.
Yeah, but now Poker Face has brought the trend back, so hopefully this will.
So a murder mystery every episode for 10 episodes.
And I think it's created by the person who wrote Knives Out, and I really loved Knives Out as well. It's a great film. I really enjoyed that film.
Although everyone who is subscribing to us on our Vlogmas a bit later on, we will be doing our own version of sort of best shows as well, everyone. So keep out for that.
Well, 10 best shows are opinion of the year.
Yeah. So our one's not Times.
Basically, this episode you will learn of comment below is a promotion for all of the future Vlogmas episodes.
Gosh. Okay, number 9, The Other Two on Max. I've never heard of that before.
Never heard of it. Doesn't look interesting.
Topless man on it.
That's Justin Bieber.
Is it? Isn't?
Oh, a Gen Z Justin Bieber. That's what it says. It says an adorable teen finds overnight fame as a Gen Z Justin Bieber and his underachieving adult siblings try to ride his coattails to success. Actually, that sounds quite good. I'm not going to lie. That sounds quite interesting.
Okay, number 8, Dead Ringers on Amazon. Isn't Dead Ringers already a show?
Dead Ringers is an impersonation show in the UK.
Never heard of it, everyone, but I'm sure it's fab.
I may have said this before, so I excuse me if I'm repeating myself, but you saying, Dead Ringers isn't there a show already called Dead Ringers? You cannot copyright and title for a TV show, a song, or a film. So if I wanted to make a TV show called Dead Ringers, I could. You cannot copyright that.
What about the name Kylie?
That's the artist, not the song.
Right? Kylie Jenner tried to copyright it away from Kylie Minogue, didn't she?
Well, good luck, Kylie Jenner, because I think you don't mess with the Minogues.
What about a phrase such as "that's hot"?
Okay, I know Paris Hilton tried that as well.
Yeah.
Didn't Google work? Google wanted to copyright the term "I Googled it."
Did they?
Yeah, but they weren't allowed.
Number 7, HBO Telemarketers. Never heard of this either.
No, it's
documentary series.
Oh. Particularly in the true crime variety, have exploded in popularity during the streaming era. The problem is few of the dozens of new titles released in the genre each year are really actually good. Some are trashy.
Oh, this is exposing a shady industry with the guy who recorded this in the early 2000s. So how exciting. Right, the next one then, number 6. You want to watch this, don't you? The Curse on Showtime.
I do. It's on Paramount Plus in the UK. And yes, I very, very much want to watch this because it's everything about it ticks all the boxes.
Reality TV?
It's reality. Well, it's a fictional world reality TV show. It's kind of weird things going on. And it's about like a relationship breakdown, and it's kind of like looking at the TV industry with a kind of like a magnifying glass and going, So it's everything I would love. And it's the fact it's being compared to, it's unsettling and provokes echoes of the masters such as Hitchcock. I bloody love Alfred Hitchcock. His films are fantastic. So if it's even a teeny tiny little bit like an Alfred Hitchcock film,
We like
suspense and stuff. I will love every minute of it.
Well, we've seen this one, number 5, Beef on Netflix.
Brilliant series.
It's a great concept of a show.
Yeah. Where two people basically have a car,
These bump a car.
they bump a car, and then
and
they
both
just
angry.
but they just kind of outdo each other. But you realise that both their lives are kind of like there's nothing in them, and that's why they're kind of like
Obsessed with this one.
obsessed with this one thing
Yeah.
about each other. The final 2 episodes, I won't ruin it for anyone who's watched it, but the final 2 episodes are just, I would honestly argue, some of the best television produced this year.
Yeah, very good. Well, number 4, we've seen this as well. Look at us. Rain Dogs on HBO, which was also on iPlayer, I think, as well, which has got
That's
Maisie,
the BBC show.
Daisy May Cooper in it, and her gay friend, and her daughter.
Oh my God, I didn't realise that was the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was on the BBC in the UK.
it was
BBC
good,
iPlayer.
that was really
I think
good.
it's a co-production, isn't it, between HBO and BBC?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Oh my gosh, in America, if you're not watching this, then you're stupid.
You really see how much of a good actress Daisy May Cooper is in it as well. Like, you see her as
Yeah.
like a funny person or a comedian, but actually she's quite good at dramatic roles.
What was that? Not This Country, but that other thing that she was in this year, which was really good too. When you found out
it's
about,
like unbelievable.
I'm gonna find it.
That was really good. She wrote that.
Did she? Yeah, that was excellent. Oh, Am I Being Unreasonable?
Yeah, Am I Being
It
Unreasonable?
came out last year, so this was last year. Again, if you're able to, if our apparent American listeners and watchers, you're able to get Am I Being Unreasonable? Again, it's a BBC show. Brilliant. A great twist at the end. Again, a great twist at the end. I won't ruin it, but it's a fantastic
You
twist.
need
at
to
the end.
do what all the politicians are told when they're doing speeches.
Yes.
Is to put your thumb in between and point like that. Less aggressive.
I don't mean to, though.
You need some media training, I
I-
think. I'm going to send you off on a course
I
next year.
would like that.
Right, number
for when I'm
3.
on X Factor.
Number X Factor. You are really old, aren't you? Number 3 is I Am Virgo on Amazon. No one has Amazon. I've not heard of this show. Don't know what's about.
Amazon are triers, aren't they? Because they're obviously making good shows, but just unfortunately, no one wants to.
Well, this is a cheap
it.
number 1. It's 2 shows.
Well, they're obviously equally as considered
No.
equally as.
Remember that stupid series of Drag Race when RuPaul had 2 winners?
Yeah,
And it was clearly not filmed to have 2 winners, so they just edited both things side by side, and
Yeah.
it's just awful. Well, this is like that. So
now
number
you're
1,
being unreasonable.
number 1 is Succession and Reservation Dogs. Is that what it's called?
Reservation Dogs. Yeah, looks like it.
Wow. I like Succession, but I've not seen series 3 and 4 yet, so I don't want to read this or have any spoilers. But I feel Succession should be number 1, not this other show.
It's on Hulu. Am I Being Unreasonable? Is on Hulu in America, so watch it.
But you like Succession, don't you? But we've not seen
Succession's
half of it.
amazing. Again, don't get in the comments and start telling me the ending because I will not be happy with you. We've watched season 1 and 2.
Yes.
And there's 2 more to watch.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Two-
You weren't listening to me.
So I was looking at Reservation. I've not seen Reservation Dogs though. I'm just going to read it up now quickly. Reservation, by contrast, never chased the mainstream zeitgeist. Instead of homing in on the 1% of the 1%, half-an-hour dramedy chronicle the hijinks of disenfranchised outsiders, 4 Native American teens on an Oklahoma reservation mourning a friend who died by suicide.
Deep.
Trigger warning.
Euphoria is better.
Yeah,
Right.
but they've not made a new series of Euphoria, this series.
They're going to be so old when they make the 3rd series, aren't they?
And one of them won't be in it.
2 of them. Cat's not in it either.
Well, yeah, but one of them, there's a good reason why they're not in it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, well.
Gosh. You're going deep and dark this episode, aren't you?
Well, I've had a very hard week.
Right. Opening with funerals.
Yeah.
In the middle, we've got a bit of suicide. Right, so
Is there any shows on there that you haven't seen that you actually now, from reading this, like, is The Curse now? Because I've mentioned The Curse to you
I
a few
want to
times.
see the curse. Just getting around. There's lots on.
But what's the thing we are watching, which has got all the lusty gayness on
Fellow
Paramount?
Travellers?
Yeah, that's good. We only watched 1 episode of that. I want to watch
And
episode.
Murder at the End of the World. We're also watching.
Well, Murder at the End of the World is fantastic. But yeah, Fellow Travellers has got Jonathan Bailey from
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton in it.
And Matt Boomer.
But Jonathan Bailey from Bridgerton in it.
Okay. Right, our next subject then we're going
Sorry,
to.
you always lust after people. Am I not allowed to lust?
Everyone knows he's hot.
Everyone. Some
they
people
do.
might agree. Oh, he is.
In Bridgerton Series 2, when he had his white shirt all wet, that was game over for everyone.
Well, that was like meant to be like the Darcy moment from like the old BBC
Well, it was.
dramas, wasn't it? Oh, Darcy.
It's like that.
Oh, Darcy.
It's like the episode of what was that thing that was really popular a few years ago? Poldark, when he was topless in that field.
All
that
the
picture.
women.
It's like just certain images are just
That was the
embedded.
BBC. That was really naughty for the BBC. Actually, that was really saucy, wasn't it? Because that was on a Sunday night as well.
Yeah,
Like they used to get loads of complaints because people said, "Oh, on a Sunday, God's Day, all this sex."
Right, so
Do
next
you know he was born the same year as you?
who?
Jonathan Bailey.
Good.
You're the same age.
Right. Matt Boone was like 50 something. He's like 52.
I'm not talking about Matt Boone.
I know, he looks like about 20, so I don't know what
Will
these-
Brill. That's a
don't know-
good name.
don't know what the gays are
There's a
drinking.
guy called Will Brill, an American actor. He's in it too. He was in the OA. He played Scott Brown.
Right.
It's making you think there.
I love the OA.
No, I know you do. That's why I thought I'd bring it up.
Don't know who Scott Brown was. He in series 2, was he? Oh, he played the druggy guy in The Cage.
Oh, right. Will Brill. That's a good name for an actor, isn't it? That's memorable. Like, if you're an actor, do you reckon that's his real name or do you reckon he's changed it to be that?
Right, so our next subject,
That's a good question.
I think it's his real name.
Okay, go on. Go to the next subject.
Well, we're running out of time. Right.
Right.
Next subject is that came. I don't know why this came into my head. Something happened when I was driving. I can't remember what it was, but it came into my head about like old dating advice where people used to write in for advice.
It was because I was telling you about a podcast I listened to because in America, they've just finished doing a series of The Bachelor, but it was called The Golden Bachelor. And all the cast were between the ages of 60 and 75, and it got a really good reception.
Your age.
Yes. And you said, oh, you know, I wonder what's changed with date, and that's where it came in. See, I remember when you came up.
So this is basically looking at old dating advice from old things from like the 50s.
Stuff I would have
60s,
done, is it?
maybe, and just seeing how it's aged and whether you agree with the advice that is given today.
I imagine it's not going to be very age.
But you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them I found was a clipping. It says, "Where can I meet a beautiful girl?
Oh.
Please tell me the right place to meet a beautiful girl. Outsiders find this town very clannish."
Clannish?
As in, they all stick together. So outside.
Oh, so what,
Like a
what would
clan.
you say today? Yeah, but what would you say? Clicky.
click. Yeah, little
A
click.
clique.
I did see one at a dance. A beautiful girl, that is. I didn't ask her for a dance at first, and later I approached her, but she turned away. I am almost 22.
My heart's bleeding.
So the reply was, don't aim at getting a beautiful girl. Just be friendly with any girl. Just anyone. Anyone.
That's, well, okay. That
They
sounds
won't-
like advice that a killer would get from stalking.
They won't turn all away.
Oh.
Very often, those who are more homely looking,
That's what they're saying. They're saying, look at the hips. If they've got childbearing, you want to go for that.
they are the nicest. So don't be choosy.
Don't be choosy. Just get adrenaline. Go for that troglodyte.
You have written about this before, so I'm beginning to feel that perhaps you are too ambitious to win a glamorous girl.
Same pattern. Win? You don't win a woman. For goodness sake. Who's giving this advice? I mean, to be fair,
Mhm.
that's a much more
Homely. Look for a
much more homely way. There's a much more polite way of doing things. I mean, nowadays, let's be honest, it would be a lot like, oh yeah, she's got a nice wet pussy or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Is that your advice?
how do lads interact?
I'm
at
not
a
a
pub?
lad, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but you must have like sat in a pub and kind of overheard, and like lads are going, oh yeah, look at those tits.
No, I don't talk to straight men.
I mean,
Sorry.
look, for years, up until the early 2000s, men got their kicks from opening the daily newspaper to the third page and seeing women with their, you know, their why can't I get the word? Boobies. Their boobies. Their boobies. Their boobies. Their boobies out. But yeah.
So look at this then. This is a housekeeping monthly from 1955.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's a checklist of how to be a good wife.
Okay. Well, let me see if these things are me, because I'm a good wife.
So gather up school books, toys, papers, etc., and run a dust cloth over all the tables.
But then put them back down again as a mess.
During the cooler months, you should prepare and light a fire for him, your husband, to unwind. Your husband will feel he has reached a heaven of rest and
Haven.
order, and it will give you a lift too. Bit for you.
Get him a coffee as well, or whiskey. I make sure that the thermostat's on the right temperature for you every day.
Do you?
Yes,
Prepare the children.
I do. Charlie gets tickles and ready for his father's return every day.
Take a few minutes to wash the children's hands and faces. comb their hair, and if necessary, change their clothes. They are little treasures, and he would like to see them playing the part.
Playing the part.
Minimise all noise. At the time of his arrival, eliminate all noise of the washer, dryer, and any vacuum.
Okay.
Try to ensure the children are also quiet.
But it's one of those old things, isn't it? It's like be seen
Victorian,
and not heard.
yeah.
Be seen and not
Was
heard.
there no update from the Victorian era to the 60s? Was it just the same?
No, because the man was the main
Mhm.
breadwinner, and then the woman stayed at home and did. It wasn't until like the 70s or 80s when electronic devices came in, like washing machines.
Gave the women a bit more time.
It gave women more time, so then they wanted to do work, part-time working,
How dare they?
or well, exactly, or they went out with their friends in their active wear and had a coffee.
Not in a bikini, I hope, 'cause it's immodest. Another bit of one said. Okay, so this is
why not in a bikini?
well, the agony advice down here
How
said,
dare they?
"Are bikinis immodest?" And at the end it says, "Due to your other question, yes, they are."
I do like the fact that they said as an answer. I may as well say that most of the bikini clads who I saw were on an Irish beach. Blimmin' Irish.
This is some advice that you could do. Be happy to see him.
I'm
when
always
he
happy to
arrives.
see you.
Greet him with a warm smile and show sincerity in your desire to please him.
How can I please you, Ben?
Wow, don't they? Listen to him. You may have a dozen important things to tell him,
But
the
that don't
moment-
matter.
but the moment of his arrival is not the time. Let him talk first. Remember, his topics of conversation are more important than yours.
Wow, that's disgusting.
1955.
But again, I kind of get the feeling that like this is our relationship. you always seem to overbear. No, I'm joking.
Make this one though, but this is just so awful. Make the evening his. Never complain if he comes home late or goes out to dinner or other places of entertainment without you. Instead, try to understand his world of strain and pressure and his very real need to be at home and relax.
Well, don't forget that in those days also men would it was okay for men to have affairs and women just had to be at home and accept it. They didn't
Run
they
a
weren't-
cloth over the table.
Yeah, because divorce was also one of those things. It's like if you got divorced, oh, you were a used woman. You were like thrown away in the trash. Talking about kids like being a bit quieter. I mean, I don't mind like kids kind of running around and like having a good time. But
Right, here we go.
sometimes,
Good housekeeping got a point.
but no, I did no. Obviously, I want to go to stream to say to the kids, do not make a word. Do not bother me here.
Turn off your vacuum.
Yeah. Turn off your dustbuster. But sometimes, you're sat and you're having a nice meal, and then all of a sudden you're the kids run.
I hate the noise of kids. They're just annoying. They should all be silent as they're around.
It's the argument, isn't it, about babies on planes? Obviously, in
Going back to that, are we? We didn't have any babies on ours, did we?
we were very lucky, but it's probably because it was a domestic flight and not an international.
What about this one then? Will you do this? Make him comfortable. Have him lean back in a comfortable chair.
Right.
Or have him lie down in the bedroom.
Unzip his fly and gently put his penis in your mouth.
Have a cool or warm drink ready for him.
Well, again, have a nice warm drink for you, love. I like the very last one that's been circled as well. It says, a good wife always knows her place.
Yes. If you're a good wife, you already know all these things. Arrange his pillow and offer to take off his shoes. Speak in a low, soothing, and pleasant voice.
But there's people, and I'm not going to name the YouTube person, but there's a YouTube person who believes that to this day.
This could be some good content for us. You could act like a housewife from 1955.
Her and her sister.
Yeah, already do.
Oh, gosh, shall we No, there's
What?
thousands of people on YouTube. There's no way you know who we're talking about. But like it always tends to be like kind of like religious. I don't want to. It's not a cult. To be religious doesn't make you cult.
No, not to be religious, but the one that they're in is a
Well, they are, yeah. But like it's like they feel like that they have to make a meal for their husband. You know what I mean? And it's the fact they say, my husband wants this, my husband wants that. And it's like, oh no, be your independent self. It's like they really do feel like that their mission, their reason for being is to serve. And I don't like that.
It's
That's
just
bad.
awful.
That's bad.
But you can also buy a gavel to sort out any arguments.
Like you're now making it very obvious who we're talking
No,
about.
no, hardly anyone knows that. Buy a gavel and when you go
Yeah.
bang,
Yeah.
conversation's over and the husband wins. Right, last subject of the day. shall we?
And if you are watching our Christmas vlogs, basically we're doing one every day up until Christmas Eve. This will link in very nicely to our next vlog, which will be out tomorrow. And that is IKEA are offering Edinburgh customers. So there's every chance we can go down there and have a look. But I won't be able to eat it, but you can. Customers, their first ever turkey-sized meatball for Christmas.
Right, this picture, is this what it is?
This is what it is. And it's got a
How
little
do you
picture
cook
underneath.
this?
It says, check out the size of this meatball. So IKEA is taking on the Christmas food market with the launch of its very own festive showstopper, its first ever turkey-sized meatball. The massive signature IKEA meatball is ideal for feeding a family, and it weighs 4.5 kilograms and comes boxed and ready to cook, complete with IKEA's classic meatball accompaniment of lingonberry jam and creamy sauce. Oh, yeah.
A little thing of mash underneath.
Hang on. For those who are plant-based, IKEA also has a veggie Christmas one.
What, that big?
Apparently so. I might
What are the
take that for
cooking?
Christmas dinner.
Yeah, what are the cooking instructions on this? Because you need a big oven for that, don't you? It's quite tall.
It doesn't say, but IKEA will be revealing ways for customers to get their hands on the turkey-sized meatball via their Instagram page on Wednesday the 6th of... So it's already come and gone. 6th of December. Meatball lovers will get their mittens on one by heading to the store from the 11th of December and finding the hidden turkey-sized meatball. Do you reckon this is made up? No, I'm beginning to think. It says made up? But you're quite right. How do you cook something like that? How does something that big... Because that won't go in the oven, would it?
I don't know. I want to know the cooking instructions of this, but...
Well, let's look on IKEA's official thing on Instagram.
That's what you should have done before the episode.
I got excited and I just...
Someone on Reddit says, I think you need to wrap it in tin foil to hold the shape and then cook at a low temperature to make sure it cooks throughout. Roll the foil ball around every 20 to 30 minutes to make sure the juices stay evenly spread throughout the meatball. Wouldn't know how long it would take to cook off the top of my head, but you definitely need to leave it to rest for a short while afterwards.
Well, so it can, like, breathe.
And someone replied saying, I reckon a good 3 hours with a butter base would be all well and good. Don't overthink it.
So I'm on the IKEA Instagram and it's there. Turkey. It's big, it's tasty, it's proper Christmas showstopper, introducing the IKEA turkey-sized meatball. Find out how to get your mittens on one soon. I don't know how you get that in the oven, though, because that's quite big. I would argue that's like that.
Well, it's not April, so it's not an April Fool's. So who knows what's going on? But I want one. I feel like, do you feel like you could just eat that, like the whole thing, like bite into it?
Oh,
I feel like I could.
That's good though, because also that's good for leftovers. Being a vegan, it's really hard for leftovers at Christmas because my favourite thing in the whole wide world used to be Boxing Day, turkey sandwich with stuffing and cranberry sauce and like potatoes and like everything and anything, and then stuffed between two doorstop slices of bread and a tube of Pringles.
I think it looks nice because all the crusty outside, like the whole thing's a crusty edge. You know what I mean? The end, all of it is an end piece.
Speaking my language, my friends.
Sorry.
It looks a bit like meatloaf, and I've made
round meatloaf.
Again, before my plant-based journey, I used to buy meatloaf, and you were never a fan, so maybe you wouldn't like it so much.
No, I think I would. It looks nice. I'd have.
Or shall we go? We could make a little video. That could be one of our. That could be one of our Vlogmas videos.
Yeah.
Should we go to what is it? 11th. When is that? That's Monday. I could go Wednesday. Would you like to go Wednesday?
We'll talk about this when we're not recording a live podcast.
Shall we? Yeah, fair enough.
We always end it like this. Right, so that's us done for the week.
That's us.
If anyone wants to get in touch with us, how can they do so?
Well, let us know if you're getting an IKEA giant meatball as well by going to X @CommentBelowPod, Instagram CommentBelow_pod. Email us, as you say, anything that happened to you today or any advice that you would give some men who are going on the courting scene. Email commentbelowpod@gmail.com. If you are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell so you never miss a future episode, including this and our other podcast, Faithful to the Traitors. And comment below. You can literally do that on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app, don't forget to also review us. Give us 5 stars if you enjoy listening to us. And share us with your friends so we can help the podcast grow. As big as an IKEA Christmas meatball.
That is correct. So we're going to end on a Facebook mum quote of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So you ready for this one? There's a picture of Will Smith underneath it.
Well,
if the quote is from him, no one knows.
Well, then he's not much of a mum, is he?
Well,
it doesn't involve slapping, does it?
No. It says, you become your best self when you work on things that people can't take away from you. mindset, character, personality, transparency, communication. That's the real upgrade.
Have I got time to say something about Will Smith? I know we end on the Facebook comment of the week. Did you know that he was meant to play a gay character in a film, and he refused to do it because he didn't want to kiss another man?
Although that person went on a podcast recently, said Will Smith was having sex with his friend, a man or something.
And on that note, on that liable note, you may not see us tomorrow. Have a lovely weekend.
Goodbye.
Bye.